Alright, so Black Clover Chapter 268, the official release is out, and we got an early chapter this week, and I just gotta say, this was an extremely sad backstory. I didn't think that I would feel this way towards the anti-magic devil. And now we know how it intertwines with Asta's mother. Well, unconfirmed mother, but I'm 99.9% sure this is Asta's mother. This chapter definitely confirmed it in my opinion, but I will talk about why, and we'll get to that. So let's talk about Black Clover Chapter 268, Devil. So this chapter right off the bat starts off with the anti-magic devil narrating his backstory and telling us how the hierarchy works in the underworld. He tells us from the time the devils are born in the underworld, they already have a set place pecking order and there's no way to change it, which is very identical of how people are born in Black Clover, because for example, if you are born in a low peasant family, the chances of you having a low monopole, there is no way to change that. You just got to work with what you got. But the underworld is even harsher because they already have a pecking order, and the anti-magic devil states that since the underworld is born, for devils to kill time, they torture the ones who are lower than them, and if a low-ranked demon has someone lower than them, they would do the exact same. So it's a never-ending cycle here. And then the anti-magic devil continues on to say, since he was born without magic, he got tortured the most. Ever since he was born, a day didn't go by where he didn't bleed. And it's so sad to see because you see all these giant demons just torturing him in this chapter. He also mentioned that devils, naturally, their biggest pleasure is toying with humans. That's why a lot of them want to go outside the other world. And one day, a ticked off devil threw him at the gate of the underworld, and he was able to go right through it because he has no magic, which ended up him being in the human world. Now, in a way, in the long run, that ticked off devil did the anti-magic devil a favor because he was able to escape. He was getting tortured every day of his life since being born, and he was so small, he was so frail. But it does make me curious. Now that we know how the anti-magic devil left the underworld, how did Zagreus leave? Because Lucifero said that Zagreus escaped. But how did he escape? Because we've seen how the anti-magic did it. It's because he has no magic, so he was able to go through the gate. I hope in this arc soon we get some sort of fleshed out detail of how Zagreus exactly escaped, because him just saying he escaped, I want to see how it happened, because he doesn't have anti-magic, unless with his word soul magic he just said open and it opened, but I completely doubt that. Now, the anti-magic devil continues on to explain that once he got into the human world, they loathed and feared him. Everyone starts screaming at him and pointing, saying it's a devil, and saying that we got to get the magic knights, and they chased him away. And he said that people started chasing him with powerful magic, and he was to the point where he just collapsed somewhere in the woods and he was ready to die. Now, this is terrible because it's one thing where you're discriminated against by your own people in the underworld just because you have no magic, and then you go into the human world thinking it's going to be any better, and you get chased off by humans because they're afraid of you because you are a devil. If you think about it, yeah, this story is more harsh than Asta's, but Asta's and the anti-magic devil are two sides of the same coin because Asta deals with this on the daily. Not as much as he used to, of course, but people that are from the Forsaken realm, they are looked down upon. They are discriminated against because they have low magic. They don't have strong magic like the people that's in the common realm or the royal capital, etc. And when it comes to Asta, Asta is showing everyone where even though I have no magic at all, I can be accepted. I can be strong. This low peasant can build up as much merit or more than a royal or noble or etc. to become a wizard king, and he's going to prove it. And this storyline in this flashback with the anti-magic devil, it makes Asta and the anti-magic devil very relatable. Now, we see the woman again in this chapter. The anti-magic devil is in her room, in her bed. He has bandages all over his body, implying that she saved him when he was just dropped down in the woods. And she reveals her name. Her name is Licita. Not sure if that's the correct pronunciation, but that's what Google Translate told me. So don't judge me, judge Google Translate. Her name is like a mixed combination of licked and tetia. Licita. Tabata, you ain't slick because all you doing is teasing the theorists out here. Anti-magic devil, he wakes up to her and she's saying, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Licita, rhyming accidentally. And she goes on to explain the way her magic works. And she explains that as long as it lacks mana, she can take it out of something and put it into something else. All right, now to fully explain this correctly, in the chapter you see that she's carrying a little tube. Now, in that little tube is her controlling her magic. What she does is she can take objects or anything that lacks mana, and she can put it in that little tube, and she can take it out. That's how she was able to put the anti-magic devil in the tube and the firewood, and she was able to bring him into her house, and she explains that. You also see when she closes the tube and opens up again, the 5-leaf grimoire came out. And then she makes fun of the fact that she found the grimoire the other day and then met a devil. So I guess the 5-leaf grimoire superstition is true. Now the anti-magic devil, he's a little confused because he's telling her, why are you not afraid of me? You're a frail kid with no magic, so it's nothing to be afraid of. And if you are talking about being loath, then I can give you a run for your money. She continues on to say that if you're talking about being loath, then I can give you a run for your money. Meaning that she's also outcast by the people within her own little village or in her own world because she lives alone. The reason why is because Licita, she explains the way her body works. She can steal magic and life energy by anyone who's nearby. So it's a terrible situation because of the way her magic works, she has no choice but to live on her own. It's very similar to Henry, but Henry's, it wasn't his magic type, it was a curse. His magic type is recombination magic, and the other additional ability that he has when people are near him, he steals their magic. That is not his magic type, that is an illness, that is just his curse. It's not linked to his magic at all, while Licita's, in her case, her magic is linked to something similar to that. That is her magic. And since her magic ability is like that, she immediately says to the anti-magic devil, this must be fate. Why don't you be my child? And he's like, what? And you see that every memory the anti-magic devil is narrating here, he's saying this woman, this human changed my entire world. And you seeing that they spent every moment together after that. Like they built a snowman together, they fished together, they slept together, they bathed together, they cooked together. Every moment she treated him like it was her own son. You know, the anti-magic devil, he is genuinely happy. He's smiling in this chapter, and we see that he is growing up with Licita. And it's so sad because you just know while reading this is too perfect and it's too much happiness to know that this wouldn't last. And it's a better situation where the anti-magic devil was getting tortured every single day, but now he's being treated by someone who's a human at that. It's not normal, but at the same time, it's beautiful. And what makes it even worse is that she reminds him that just because you are a devil, you're not a bad guy. Being on my own hurt and you rescue me from that. Thanks, Liebe, which is the anti-magic devil name, by the way, which was Google Translate how to pronunciate, so don't judge me again. But that is just sad, man, because right after that, he says I, and there were just nothing but dots right after it. It seemed as though he was going to say I love you because Liebe means love. And once that happened, he just went insane and he started losing control of his own body. And it was Lucifer trying to take over his whole body. You see that Liebe, his whole body is metamorphosing, and Lucifer says, who would have thought that a devil would be here without making a contract with a human? And Liebe states, one of the highest devils, my body isn't listening to me. And notice he said one of the highest devils. So that means that there are other devils high rank like Lucifero, which I will make a video on this week. Lucifero states, what a fine, I will use him to manifest my own body in the human world. Now look how crazy that sounds. Since he is a higher ranked devil, he can control lower ranked devils and can manifest himself into the human world. Now it makes sense why he couldn't do it to Zagreus, because Zagreus is a high rank, so it has to be a limit. But you see Licita, she's not giving up the anti-magic devil. Like she's saying, give me Liebe back, you're not taking him away. And Lucifero starts to notice that Licita is absorbing his magic and he's really trying to fight her off. And she's saying, not this time. And when she says not this time, it's a panel of her placing a basket. In her exact words in this chapter, she says, this time, I'm not letting go. Now, Tabata wouldn't show that for no reason. That is clear as day. That is her placing the basket at Hodge Village. That is Asta inside of it. Which means that the accurate timeline this chapter is taking place is after Asta was in Hodge. So while the anti-magic devil was being raised by Asta's mother, Asta was in Hodge Village being raised by Father Oris. So this was all happening at the exact same time. Of course, when Asta was a baby, not a teenager, because that wouldn't make sense for the timeline. So a lot of people were confused of the timeline in this chapter, and I will do a further breakdown explaining it once I do a discussion video around this chapter this week, because I don't want to fully explain it in this video because this review will turn into 20 to 30 minutes like a Tekken 101 type beat. Unless you guys will want that. Maybe one day. Maybe we'll do a 30-minute review. But I'll just say that for a whole different video. But if this is Asta's mom, the timelines make sense, and I will break that down soon. Now, Lucifer starts to realize that he cannot get Liebe away from Licita, so he makes Liebe's arm go right through Licita's whole body, and you see that is similar to what we seen in the flashback before Asta went berserk against Dante. And before Lucifero left, he said that I can affect any lowly devil out there, so I will return. Now we see before Licita died, she said the only way she can protect Liebe is to submerge him within the 5th leaf, and she used her magic ability on him, and she said by the time you emerge in the grimoire, I'm pretty sure that you will grow big and strong. And while she is putting him in the grimoire, he screams out mom, and she says live, Liebe. And the way this chapter ends off, you see the anti-magic devil, he's in full of rage. What Asta said, saying that you're not a bad guy, triggered that memory, and Asta, he's extremely shook. He's not saying a word. The anti-magic devil, Liebe, he is saying, devils, every last one of them are scums. I'm going to kill every last one of them, and I'm going to steal your body to do it. And that was the end of the chapter. Now, if you think about it, he has every reason to want to steal Asta's body. It's not just for a cause where I just want to be strong. No, he has a deep reason for it. It reminds me of Patri when he wanted revenge against the humans. But man, this chapter was intense. I loved every bit of it. This was a 10 out of 10, flat out. And if you guys enjoyed this chapter, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like on it. And if you are new to the channel, subscribe, notification bells on. Join my Discord, follow me on Twitter. All the links will be in the description. Again, like, comment, subscribe. You guys have an awesome life. Take care of yourselves, and I'm out.